Say Selenium class 30 TestNG Framework Part 3. Say in TestNG Framework Part 1, in TestNG Framework Part 1, we discussed 3 topics. First one, Introduction to TestNG. Next, install TestNG and write first TestNG test case. Install TestNG and write first TestNG test case. Next, third topic, create multiple test cases and execute. Create or write multiple test cases and execute. Next, in TestNG Framework Part 2 chapter, Part 2. In TestNG Framework Part 2. Fourth topic, execute multiple programs or classes using XML. Execute multiple programs or classes using XML. Next, fifth topic, grouping test cases. Grouping test cases. Next, sixth topic, parallel test execution. Parallel test execution. Next, today, TestNG Framework Part 3. Part 3. Data-driven testing using DataProvider Annotation. Seventh topic, data-driven testing using DataProvider. Okay. Say in this chapter we are going to discuss data-driven testing using Excel. Earlier we did data-driven testing using text file or flat file, notepad like file which doesn't have any format. See, today we are going to discuss 2 examples. First example, read test data. Read test data. First example, string type data. Suppose username is string, password is string. String type data. Read test data from Excel file and perform data-driven testing and perform data-driven testing for admin login functionality. Admin login functionality. Next, read test data from Excel file and perform data-driven testing. This time, integer type data. Integer type data. And perform data-driven testing for addition functionality. Addition functionality. See, Smita, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, first manual test case. Next, verification point part of test case. Prepare test data file. Prepare test data file and connect. First manual test case. You know the steps. Test steps. See, launch the browser. Launch the browser. Just a minute. Next, second step. Navigate to URL. Just a minute. gcrit.com admin. Navigate to this URL. Next, enter username, enter password, click login button. Navigate to this URL. Next, enter username. Next, enter password. Next, click login button. See, these are the steps. Next, verification point. Capture the URL and compare with expected. Capture the URL after login. Next, expected. Say admin at 123. After that, you can get index page. This is the expected. Okay. Test case, okay. Test data in Excel file. Prepare test data file. Observe, Sunil, earlier we used text file. For that, we no need to import and add anything. For text files, we no need to import any jars. Why? Java supports, by default, Java supports text files. Java having file class, built-in class, predefined library. If you want to work with the Excel or other files, Excel, Word, or any other file, you need to download and add jar files. See, for Excel, we have so many third-party jar files. You download jar file and add that jar file to Java project in Eclipse. See, first step, download Excel Java archive jar file and extract. Next, add Excel jar to Java project in Eclipse. In Eclipse IDE. Okay, now Sunil, these 2 points.
Yes, sir.
Smita, did you get this point? If you want to work with flat files, you no need to download and add any jar files. Java supports
Yes, sir.
Java having file class for supporting file class and file reader, file writer, file buffered classes, etc. If you want to work with other files, you need to download and add external jar files. See, we have so many jar files, third-party jar files in the industry. See, I downloaded one jar file. You can download another jars also, no issue. See, according to my version, I downloaded this jar file. This jar file supports XLS files. For supporting XLSX latest MS Office version, I will provide the link. You download the jar files and add. Say how to download. Just a minute. JXL jar. See, download. Scroll down. Here download option is there. You click this option, this link, and download. This is zip folder. After downloading, extract that folder. Extract. See, users, downloads. I already downloaded. After downloading, extracted this folder. See, in this jar file is there. You add this Excel jar file to Java project in Eclipse. Smita, guide me how to add jar files to Java project. Guide me.
Right click on
Where?
data-driven.java.
Data-driven.java is class. We have to add jar file to Java project, not Java class. See, this navigation is not only for Excel jar, for any type of external jars. Select Java project. Continue, Preeti. Select Java project. Arti, you continue. Why nobody responding? Arti. Sridevi, you continue.
Yes, sir. Right click
right click Selenium WebDriver, Selenium testing, Java.
Select project and right click. See, this is
Add.
not add. This is common navigation for adding external jars. Build path, configure build path. Next, here select libraries tab, add
Yes, sir.
external
Add.
jars, browse path of the jar. Suppose if like this, browse path of the jar. See downloads, JXL. Select the jar file, open, apply, OK. Tell me the navigation once again, Sridevi.
Yes, sir. Right click on Selenium testing, Selenium project, build path, configure build path.
Build path, configure build path. Select libraries tab.
Add external jars.
Add external jars. Browse path of the jar file. Open. Apply. OK. Okay, na? Next,
Yes,
see, observe. I already prepared the test data input file. Here, 4 records are there. User ID and passwords. Username and passwords. Okay. See, first, create the file. Create the file object. Sanjida Mukul, create the file object.
Sir, sir, I'm a little lost. I might not.
File. Preeti, can you hear me? Preeti not responding. Aarti not responding. Preeti.
Yes, sir, I can. Yes, sir.
Earlier you didn't respond.
Yeah, I joined late, so.
Okay, cool. Tell me how to create file object.
We have to give dr. We have to give some name.
Some name. Okay, suppose file f equal to.
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Okay, cool. Okay. Can you tell me, Sunil, create file object, file instance. Pardon? New file. Next, path of the file. Take the path. Semicolon. It supports forward slashes. Just a minute. Import file from Java IO package.
Sir, it supports forward slash or two backslash.
Yes, you can try with the 2 backslashes. You try. Okay.
Yes, sir, I tried. It's work.
Okay.
Thanks.
There's several possibilities. Next, create workbook instance.
A workbook?
Just a minute. Workbook, any name. Suppose W equal to workbook, nothing but file. Technical term workbook, general term file. Excel file, Excel workbook. Synonyms. See, workbook dot get workbook. Pass the file instance f semicolon. Next, safe side, it is asking exception handling, throws declaration, auto exception. You can just select. Next, see, observe. workbook JXL, from JXL added, workbook instance created. Say flat file is different, Excel is different. In flat file, application file, only two layers. One is application, another is file. In workbook, three. One is Excel application, another is Excel file, next last entity Excel sheet. Observe Smita, this is Excel application, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This is Excel application. From this application, you can open and close. Suppose I closed this file. You can open another file. For example,
Right.
say this is Excel file. This is Excel application. Next, this is file. This data. Next, observe bottom, left side bottom. Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. These are sheets. See three entities. Excel application, Excel file or workbook, next Excel sheet or worksheet. Okay, next create sheet object, sheet instance. Just a minute. Sheet S equal to W dot get sheet. Type G, select get sheet. Get sheet. Here you can enter sheet name or sheet ID. Sheet name or sheet ID. If it is sheet name, use double quotes, that is string type data. Just a minute. What is the sheet name? Smita, left side bottom. Observe.
Sheet 1, sir.
Sheet 1. See, you can rename sheets. Otherwise, you can use default names. Default name is sheet 1. See, data available in sheet 1. Semicolon. Next, import sheet. See, import from JXL. Next, all of you put mute. Next.
Sir, can I ask you a question? The sheet 1, is it supposed to be start from 0 or is the default is not 0? I'm not sure.
Say, I am not using sheet ID, sheet name.
Okay, got it. Okay. So you can either use the ID or the name.
ID or name.
Thank you. Yeah, got it.
Say, next, just count the rows. Int rows equal to S sheet dot rows. Get rows. Next, int columns. See, only for dry run, I'm counting rows and columns. S dot sheet dot get columns. Just try to display.
Sir, this is Gurnath here.
Sir,
this is Gurnath here. Sorry, I was late, sir. I had a problem with my internet actually. Sorry about it.
Okay. See rows. Next, columns. Just a minute. Observe Sanjida. How many rows are there in this file?
Sir, 2.
2 rows.
Oh no, sir. 3 rows.
3 rows.
4 rows.
4 rows.
4 rows. Yes,
You
sir.
are confusing small data and a small amount of data. 4 rows
sir, 4 rows.
and 2 columns.
Yes, sir.
4 rows and 2 columns. Next,
Yes.
here expected output rows 4, 2. 4, 2. Run the program. 4, 2. See correctly counting na rows and columns.
Yes, sir.
Just make it comment. This one also. Next, read data. Say we have to read rows and columns. Na? You take string type, array type string. String, observe Preeti, string. Suppose.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, you said print line get rows and columns, but why it says the number? Why it doesn't say the name?
We are not capturing the values. Get rows method. Get rows means only rows count. Get columns means only columns.
Okay.
Column
okay,
count.
Sir, okay.
That is integer type data.
Okay, sir. If we want to see the value,
Value we are going to capture.
Okay, okay, sir.
Otherwise, how can you conduct data-driven testing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Say, suppose input data. Observe Preeti, what is the array? Array symbol. This one na. Input data equal to new string see rows. Observe this syntax, columns semicolon. See column spelling mistake. Next, using nested for loop, we can read data. Say multiple na rows and columns. For continue Preeti. Read rows, then columns.
For
int.
rows.
For example, I equal to
0.
See, rows index starts from 0 to n minus 1. Suppose 10 rows are there, 0 to 9. 0, comma.
I
less than
rows,
comma, increment I plus plus. Open curly braces, close. Next, one more loop. For this time int suppose j equal to 0, comma.
J is less than columns.
J less than columns. Just a
J
minute.
plus plus.
Columns semicolon J plus plus. Open curly braces. Next, create cell C. See cell combination of column and row. Combination of column and row. S dot sheet object dot get cell J comma column comma row. Import this cell. Import cell from JXL.
Sir, cell, this is Gurnath. Cell C is equal to S dot cell get cell. What is? I didn't get the understand the.
Cell is instance. Cell is combination of row and column and row. See, observe this cell. Suppose this cell. This is combination of B column and third row. Hello?
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Cell
yes,
means combination of column and rows, na? Column and row.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it, sir. But I was trying to understand the logic, sir. Like now,
you joined late, na? You missed some concepts. Cell. Next, read input. Read data to the string. The string array. Preeti. Input data.
Input data in bracket I.
See reading time, record reading time, first row, then column, cell
column.
reading, J comma I, column comma row. This one, record reading, rows, row comma, row column, equal to cell object, C dot get contents, semicolon. You practice 2 or 3 times, then you can get more clarity. Now you just try to display this display only for dry run.
System dot.
You just
out.
This one. Run the program. See reading. Observe Sanjida.
Yes, sir.
Next, I'm removing.
Yes, sir, got it, sir.
Just a minute. I'm removing this main method. In TestNG program, we don't use main method. I'm removing this method. Put mute. Smita, put mute. Smita.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, I'm going to create object. See, array object. Observe this syntax. Public object, it is a reserved word. Suppose object name array object. Excel object arena. Use this syntax. See, return here we didn't use void. Return is there. Add return statement. Here return is input data. Say finally this array object returns input data. Here we are you make it comment. We are producing input data. It returns input data. It returns input data. Sanjida, did you understand this? This one we removed main method. Main method
Yes, sir.
is not used for TestNG program. Here I created
Yes,
array object returning input data. We are capturing input data na?
Yes, sir.
Input data.
Sir, this is Gurunath here. I have a quick question. For cell, we do column, comma row. It says get cell means, and for input data, we do row, comma column, sir.
Yes. See, reading cell, first column, then row. But reading record, first row, then column. That is the syntax.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
Reading column, reading cell, column, comma, row. Reading record, row, comma, column.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir.
Now, I'm going to use TestNG Annotation, DataProvider @DataProvider of attribute name. You can use any meaningful name. Suppose test data, import data provider from TestNG. Okay, see, using this data provider test data, you can use this data anywhere. You create one test method. Every test method is one test case in TestNG. Test, import test. Here provide data provider. Data provider equal to R3, data provider equal to, what is the data provider here?
Test data.
Test data. See this one.
Test data, yeah.
Not only in this method, in this test method, you can use this test data in any test method. See, once we are capturing the data, you can use anywhere. And one more thing, observe Sanjida, here data provider, D capital letter, P capital letter. But in this data provider, D small letter, P capital letter. See, these two are different things. Observe, @data provider, it is annotation. Next, this data provider, it is
Object.
attribute. What is object? Attribute. Observe Smita, did you understand this concept? Sanjida, you put mute. Smita.
Yes, sir.
Observe the selected data provider, @data provider. What is it?
The annotation.
Annotation. Next, this top, this data provider, Preeti.
The Excel sheet.
Attribute. Suppose if you use capital D, it will guide you. Observe. Change to small letter. See, one is annotation, another is attribute. Both are two different things, names same. Next, write the test case. Gurnath Natarajan, write the test case. Test case is admin login functionality. We already discussed the steps. In previous classes also we did this. First,
we do
Line 20, annotation data provider. Why we use it? What is the use of this annotation?
What is the?
Yes, what is the use of this annotation? Why we using line 20, sir?
See, this annotation reads data and produce the data. It produce the data, reading data.
Sir, why you get test data? Name equal to test data?
Test data, otherwise use Sanjida Mukul. You can use any name.
That can be anything, right?
Anything, A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, anything. Any meaningful name you can use. But this name is attribute, this is fixed. Name equal to something. It captures the data to this one.
Okay, sir.
See, data provider is annotation. Annotation. Here name anything. See, it produces the test data. It produces the data. We read the data. It produces the data. You can use the data anywhere using this name. Here observe, data provider equal to what we are using? Test data, na?
Data.
Yes. Suppose if we use XYZ, here use XYZ.
Why we need to use that one, sir? Like, why we need to use, already we have the input data coming here now, sir. Why we need, I know test is annotation, I know, sir.
Input data returns the data. We can't use that value directly. See, all this one comes under data provider. All this. Input data. How we executed input data? How we executed input data? Earlier we used main method, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This time
yes,
I removed main method. We are using just TestNG.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
You cannot display directly. Observe. Suppose system. Run the program. Displaying the data.
No, sir.
No. Why? Earlier we used main method. Java
Yes,
main method. This time we are using TestNG annotation. TestNG annotation
Yes,
won't
sir.
write the input data directly. We have to capture into this attribute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
What about you, Sanjida?
Get it now. Now it's clear. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Say, observe.
Capturing data provider and send we can get the data once you capture data provider, we can use the TestNG to get the result. That's what you mean to say, right, sir?
We can use this test data anywhere in this program. Not only in this first method, you can use in all methods. Wherever you require the data, you can use this data. See, earlier for understanding, I used main method for capturing these rows, columns, how to capture rows, columns, and input data. Later, I removed that main method. We are using TestNG annotation. TestNG annotation won't display the input data directly. We have to capture the data into this data provider name whatever it might be. After that, you can use this data provider anywhere in this program. By inheritance, you can use this data in another programs also. This name, any name you can use, not only test data, any meaningful name you can use. If you try to run this one, it won't display this input data. If you use main method, it can display. But in TestNG programs, we don't use main method. Okay, now Sanjida.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Any confusion? Tell me.
Sir, one more confusion here, sir. If we are using annotations at the rate test for execution, then we are using another annotations data provider line 20.
Where
sir,
another annotation?
Line 20.
Line 20. See, this is one unit. This is data provider. This is one unit.
So sir, annotations works for executions and for wrapping the data on the objects.
See, this is one annotation. What
Yes,
is the purpose of this data provider annotation?
To
capturing the data and producing the data.
Yes, sir.
Producing the data. You can use this data anywhere.
Yes, sir. That I know, but why we using two? And I know why we using two annotations. But annotations is not only used for execution.
Just a minute.
Annotation.
Just a minute. Where the second annotation?
Sir, line 20 is one annotation and line 15 is another annotation.
What is the annotation?
Sir, one is at test, another is at data provider.
In this test we are going to write a test case. For the test case we are going to use this test data.
Yes, sir, but at test will execute our method, right?
And for that method, data required. For that data we are capturing using this data provider. Then what is the problem?
Sir, problem is what purpose we can use annotations for executions or other reasons? I just need to make sure that
this test method for executing test case, this data provider annotation for producing the data, capturing and producing the data.
Okay, sir. Okay.
See, data provider annotation purpose is capturing and producing the data. Test method for executing the test case, but relation is there. We want test data for this test case. That's why we are relating these two annotations using this data provider attribute. This data provider attribute is the relation for these two annotations. Purpose different. Two annotations, purpose different. Suppose purpose different. Suppose two test methods, two test annotations. Purpose same na?
Yes, sir.
Executing test case. Suppose data provider annotation, test annotation. Purpose difference. Test annotation executing the test case. Data provider annotation capturing and producing the test data.
Sir, usually annotation has how many purposes? We can use annotations for several reasons, right?
Several reasons.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. See, now create the test case. We are using test methods now. First, create WebDriver globally. Smita, guide me. Declare WebDriver globally. Gurnath, put mute. Somebody's making noise, background noise.
Public
WebDriver driver. Import YAM. This is before method. YAM declaring WebDriver as global. It can be used in any test method, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Say confidently, Smita. Otherwise, ask question. Why we are declaring WebDriver as global instead of declaring within the method? It can be used for any test method. Suppose if you declare inside the test method, it can be used within the method only, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now create test method. Public void admin login. Open curly braces, close. Next, launch the browser. First, launch the browser. Driver equal to
new Firefox
driver, semicolon. Next, import Firefox library. Next, navigate to admin URL driver dot get URL. Just a minute. Where is the URL? This one. Navigate to admin interface. Next, enter username driver dot find element by dot name. We already inspected elements in previous classes. Name value, leave it. We can provide parameters later. We provide parameter. This one we need to use. username. For value, we will provide parameters. Send keys. Here, leave that argument.
Driver dot
Next, driver dot find element by dot name password dot send keys. Actually, here we have to enter the password value admin at 123. Next, here in the top also username admin. But don't use these fixed values. We are going to use parameters. Next, just a minute. Where is that one? GCR IT admin. Inspect the elements. Username, name username, password, name password, login button, ID is there, TDB1. Driver dot find element by dot ID, ID value is TDB1 dot operation is click. Okay. Next, just a minute. For this method, observe Preeti, provide parameters. We are reading two values. String, for example, username. You can use any meaningful name, XYZ also, comma, string, password. Observe Sanjida, where we are getting this data? From this data provider. First value username, yes. Second value password.
Yes, sir.
You pass the parameters, username, password. Next, after click, read capture URL. Otherwise, you can directly enter in the verification statement. See here, I am going to use TestNG assertion methods. Assert dot assert equals of actual value. What is the actual value? Just a minute. Actual value after reading the after executing the program only we can get the actual value na, isn't it? Expected we can prepare before the execution. Actual value after execution only na. Any confusion, Aarti?
Right, sir. Thank you.
Actual and expected, Gurnath. You can prepare expected. Tester has to prepare expected. But actual, what about actual?
No, sir. We can only after execution.
After execution. What is actual here?
Actually, the actual execution what we receive was.
Suppose, just a minute. Avoid the confusion. Yes, suppose string URL equal to driver dot get current URL. Now this URL is the actual na, Smita?
Yes, sir.
This URL is the actual. Otherwise, instead of capturing and comparing, you directly compare. You directly compare. You take this statement. This is actual. Directly capture and compare. Next, expected. We must know the expected value. See, we have expected this one.
Sir, driver.get, I didn't get it, sir. Previously you said string, right, sir? I didn't get, sir. Driver.current, you directly getting the URL directly, right, sir?
Capturing a URL directly and comparing. Instead of writing two statements, I am compressing the code.
Okay, instead of string URL, driver.get URL, you are writing directly in the assert
directly
statement.
in the verification point. What is the problem?
Okay, sir. No, sir. I was trying to understand. Sorry about it.
Yes,
I did not get it.
This concept is code optimization. Instead of writing two statements, I am writing single statement. See, earlier capturing string, capturing the URL and comparing. This time directly capturing and comparing. Observe, Smita, any confusion?
No, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay.
Here, we use assert method.
This is from TestNG.
Verification. Sir.
TestNG verification. Earlier we used assert dot equals assertion methods from TestNG for verification. Observe this selected statement. Assert from TestNG na.
Yes, sir.
Next, driver dot close. Put mute. I will execute this script. Observe. Run the program. Just a minute. Some problem is there. What is that problem? Driver also. All of you put mute. Sanjida, put mute. 4 failures. Just a minute. First disable this antivirus. It is showing pop-up. Run the program once again. See, first valid input. Next, invalid input. Next, valid input. Next, valid input. Observe. See, run four iterations, one failure, one is invalid input. Observe, Sanjida, passed 3, failed 1.
Yes, sir.
But this driver failed time browser not closed. Why? Whenever assertion method fails, it stops the execution at that point. See here, after assertion statement, driver dot close is there. For that, you remove this driver dot close. You remove this driver dot close. You write after method for driver close. After method. Otherwise, what is the problem in this test case? Whenever assert method fails, what will happen? Aarti?
It stops the next execution.
It stops the execution for that iteration. Next iteration will continue. It stops that iteration. After assertion statement, one more normal statement is there, driver.close. That's why it is not closing browser whenever test case fails. For that, you write another method, after method, only for driver close. After,
can we use try catch in TestNG?
Try catch. Yes, you can use, but here not required. Simple way is there. Use after method.
Yes, sir. Okay, that things I get it. But if in a case I use try catch, does it work the same?
Not same. Here we are not providing the try catch only for handling the exception, but it won't provide the solution.
Okay, sir.
It won't provide the solution. See, after method. Import after method. Suppose public void close browser. Close browser. Admin login A, alphabetical order A, here alphabetical order C. So first it will execute test method. Anyhow, here no alphabetical order required, Smita. Observe why. Anyhow, it is after method now. See, people responding very slowly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here two test methods. Here not two test methods. One test method and one after method. For these two, no priorities required now.
Yes, sir.
Why? One is test method, another is after method. Say, irrespective of the alphabetical order, after method execute after each method, not before the method, isn't it? Suppose if it is just a test method, then we need to check alphabetical order. If required, we have to provide priorities, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
For after method, here we are using two test methods. One is test method, another is after method. Here you no need to give priority. Getting?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Test method is different, after method is different.
Yes, sir.
After method, close browser, no parameters. I think Preeti knows this syntax. Preeti, instead of writing just a driver close, first check the browser existence and close. If
URL
not, what is URL? If not driver dot earlier
we have to take the URL, right?
No, toString. Earlier we used this one in previous classes. Dot contains, what is the value? If driver not null means some value is there, some value means browser is there. Suppose if driver dot toString contains null means no browser, then driver dot close. See, you can write this single statement, driver close, enough. But first we are checking the existence, browser is there or not. Earlier we used this syntax na Preeti. Why you are confusing?
No, sir, I'm not confused.
Earlier we used it or not?
Yes.
You check the notes, previous class notes we used. What is the meaning of this statement? Is selected statement 32 line.
If driver is not available.
If driver is not available, see negative condition. Not null means driver available, browser available.
Yes.
Not null. Not null means some value is there na. Some value is
Yes,
there means browser is there.
Browser is open there, yeah.
If browser is there, then close browser. Suppose if browser is not there, don't
then
close.
Continue.
Don't
Yeah,
close.
don't.
Means bypass the condition. This is one-way condition na.
Sir.
It is one-way condition. Meaning.
Yes, sir. Condition. But the things. What is the
driver value not null, then close the driver. Driver value not null means some value is there. Some value is there means browser exists. Close.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
this point I get. Yes, sir. This point I get it. But I have a questions like, what is the use of toString?
ToString means it returns the value.
ToStrings return the value, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Contains option.
Okay, sir.
Say. Now try to run the program. Observe. Data provider captures test data. This test method. What is the test method? Admin login uses the data. Next after method. For every iteration, after method closes the browser. Run. See TestNG running. First iteration valid input, browser closed. Second iteration invalid input, browser closed. Third iteration again valid input, browser closed. Fourth iteration valid input. See, runs 4 iterations, failures 1. Observe. See, 3 iterations passed, 1 iteration failed. See, if you want to see this TestNG report, just refresh, test output. Here, index HTML open with web browser. See, Hyderabad admin at 123 failed. See, 3 passed, 1 failed. Here one small assignment to you. Earlier, remember Smita, data-driven testing using text file, notepad. We read the data from second line, first line column header, line header. We read the data from second line. First we read lines and write condition within while loop. That time we used while loop. Condition from read from line 2 like. Here I didn't use any column headers. Suppose column header. Username, password. Now you have to read from second row na, Smita.
Sir. Yes, sir.
One small assignment to you. What is the assignment? Read test data. Read test data from second row. Now I am reading all rows. You have to read from second row. Just a small enhancement required. You try that one. Okay, na Gurnath Natarajan, this script, this test script.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
This time we used string type data. Same example, next time integer type data. Once again, we will prepare the same program, then you can get more clarity. Just a minute. This is TestNG program. See, first example we discussed. What is that one? This is read test data. Read test data, string type data from Excel file, perform data driven testing for admin login. Next one, read test data, this time integer type data, numbers from Excel and perform data driven testing for addition functionality. Just a minute, I will change the data. Otherwise use second sheet, suppose 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 11, 21, 22, 21, 31, 41, 51. Next 12, 22, 32, 42, 52. Observe Preeti, how many records in this spreadsheet? How many records?
5.
5 records. Every record having 3 fields na?
Yes, sir.
Total 15 cells. 5 records. 5 rows. 3 columns. I want to add these 3 fields. First, expected 10 plus 11 plus 12. 33. Next, 20 plus 21 plus 22. That is my test requirement. Add 3 numbers, but 5 sets, 5 records. Getting my requirement, Sanjida?
Yes, sir.
Here 5 records are there. Each record having
Yes,
3 values. I want to add 3 values for each record. Total 5 records. And one more thing. If you read data in computer programming, if you read any data, then computer program considers that data as string type data only. If you read string type data or integers or any other data, if you read any type of data, then computer program considers that data as string type data only. Earlier we read the data string type data. No issue, string only, then you can use the data directly. But if you read numbers, computer program considers the data as string type data. In order to perform mathematical calculations, you need to convert the data. Data conversion is required. Getting this point, Sanjida? Any confusion?
Yes, sir. Get the point.
If you read any data, then computer program considers the data as string type data only. Earlier we read the data username password. That is string type data only. You no need to convert. You can directly use the data. We already used the data directly, executed properly. No issue. But this time we are going to read numbers. but computer program considers that numbers as string type data only. In order to perform mathematical calculations, we need to convert the data. Otherwise, observe 10, 11. If it is addition, 10 plus 11, 21. If it is string type data, 10 plus 11. What is the 10
Yes,
plus
sir.
11 value?
1011.
1011. Okay, in order to avoid that type of problem, we need to convert the data. This problem not only in Java. You take VB script or any program. If you read data, then computer program considers the data as string type data only. How to convert? I will show. Just first read the data. Say I'm taking new program from same program. This time integer type data. In previous example, string type data. Suppose class 2. First, in order to perform some dry runs, I'm using main method. Later, we will remove main method. Why? In TestNG programs, main method is not used. Okay. See here, external file is there, input, file name input. In this file, second sheet, some data is there. Read the data and perform addition functionality. See here, 5 records are there. Every record having 3 fields. See, forget about this first sheet. Second sheet. Okay. Guide me, Sridevi. From scratch. First create file instance.
Yes, sir. File f equal to new file.
Okay, file some name equal to new file.
Path of file name.
Path of the file. Path of the file semicolon. You take the file path. Sanjida. See, earlier I used forward slashes. Sanjida told 2 backward slashes. Try with that.
Yes, sir.
2 backward slashes. It is also working. Okay, na Sanjida?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next, import file library. Java from java.io package. Okay, over. Next, create workbook instance. Sridevi, workbook instance.
Workbook W equal to?
So workbook. Any name equal to?
Get workbook.
Workbook dot get workbook. Here we have to pass the file instance. F. Okay. Now we activated the workbook. See, safe side it is asking add throws declaration. Just select exception handling, auto exception handling. Next, create sheet instance. Sheet
S equal to?
Sheet S equal to?
Get sheet. Sheet dot?
W dot?
W dot get.
Get sheet. Here you can use, observe Sanjida, get sheet 2 methods available na?
Yes, sir.
One is get sheet int arg, another is?
Another is sir, string.
String. Means if you want to use sheet name, you can use, otherwise, what is that one? Sheet ID.
Okay, sir.
Sheet name or sheet ID. What is the sheet name?
Sheet 1.
Sheet 1.
Sir, previous time you used sheet name. Sheet ID now.
Sheet ID.
Sir.
What is the sheet ID?
Is that 0 or 1?
Actually,
sheet 2, sir, it is. Sheet 2.
We'll try with sheet 2.
No,
Just
sir.
a minute.
Just mention as sheet 2 in words actually. In braces.
Just a minute, Sunil. I will show. Now read rows count int rows equal to sheet dot get rows next int columns equal to sheet dot get columns. Okay, try to display. Put mute except Sridevi. Except Sridevi, all of you put mute. Columns. What is the problem? Okay, just a minute. Run this partial code 0. Say here
We need to mention sheet 2.
Just a minute, Sunil. I will explain. Say here index starting from 0, I think 1. Second sheet 1. Index starting from 0. Observe 5 rows, 3 columns. Isn't it?
Got it, sir.
Sanjida?
Yes, sir.
Say in VB script, say it depends on environment. In Java environment, Excel index sheet ID starts from 0. First sheet 0, second sheet 1, third sheet 2.
Yes, sir.
Like this.
Yes.
In VB script,
yes,
first sheet 1, second sheet 2, third sheet 3. Observe, yes, Sunil. Your query is here you have to use sheet 2. Okay. You can use here 2 get sheet methods available in this on this object. Here you can use either sheet name or sheet ID. Instead of this one, you can use sheet name. What is the sheet name?
Sheet 2, sir.
Sheet 2.
Okay, sir.
If we use sheet name, use double quotes. Why? It is string type. If you use sheet ID, yes, don't use double quotes. Why? That is integer.
ID. Yes,
ID
sir.
is integer. Now same output, yes, 5-3.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
You can use either sheet name or sheet ID. Sheet ID is 1. Run.
Okay, sir.
It means it is the index is 0.
Index 0 means first sheet. Not index. Sheet ID 0. Sheet ID values. Sheet ID value start from 0. Now observe. This is 5-2. What is the 5-2? Observe. First sheet. Here 5 rows, 2 columns. Any confusion, Preeti?
Yes, sir, I am good. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Now 1. Earlier we used sheet name. Now this time try to use sheet ID value. Sheet ID value is 1. I am writing 1. Gurnath Natarajan. Here sheet ID value starts from 0 na.
Yes, sir. The first sheet we used is for the string is 0, sir. So this sheet we have named it as 1, sir.
For first sheet you can use either sheet name. Sheet name is sheet 1 or 0. For yes, second sheet, sheet yes, 2 or 1. Run the program. Okay. 5 rows, 3 columns. Okay. Comment. All of you put mute.
This is sheet 1, right, sir? You put because it's sheet 2, right? That's the reason we put sheet 1, right? It starts with 0, right? Previous sheet it was 0. This is we created a new sheet. It's 1, right?
Where
0
we create
1, right?
new sheet? Where we created new sheet?
See, get sheet 1. Previous one we put 0 means we get 5 2, right? So value
5 2. 5 2 means that sheet 1 values.
yes, sheet 1 value, sir.
What
Yes,
I
yes,
told
sir.
Gurnath.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Concentrate, Gurnath. You can use either sheet name. What is sheet name? Sheet 1, sheet 2. You
Yes,
can
sir.
use either sheet
Yes, sir.
name or sheet ID. Sheet ID value starts from 0. First sheet ID value 0.
Oh,
Second sheet ID value 1.
okay, sir.
Third sheet ID value 2.
Got it, sir. 2. Yes.
For
Thank
second
you,
sheet,
sir. Thank you, sir.
for
I got
second
it.
sheet, what is the value?
I3, sir.
Pardon?
1, sir.
1. Instead of 1 you
Yes, sir.
can
Value is
use.
1, sir.
Instead of 1 you can use
Sheet 2 also, sir.
sheet 2 also. Okay. Now continue, Sunil. You leave Sridevi. Continue, Sunil. Now use nested for loop. Before nested for loop, create one string array. Sunil.
Yes, sir.
Create one string array. String. Suppose array name data.
New string.
2 square brackets.
Yeah, 2 square brackets.
Equal to
new string.
New string.
Rows, columns.
Rows.
Open braces, rows.
Next columns. Columns. Semicolon. Next use nested for loop and read rows then columns. For
yes, sir.
int
we can define one, sir.
You can define variable a, b, c, d, or i, j. I equal to here also rows value starts from 0 to n minus 1. 0.
Yes, 0.
Semicolon.
I less than
rows. Again semicolon. Increment.
I plus plus.
It is curly braces. Next one more loop. For
j
int j
equals to
0. Next
j less than columns j plus plus.
Semicolon. Increment j plus plus. Just a minute. Okay. Again open curly braces, close. Next read cell C equal to sheet dot get cell of how to read cell column comma row semicolon. Next import cell library from JXL. Okay. Next read records data. Read records into string array data row column equal to cell dot get contents semicolon. Just try to display this one. data of I next j. Run the program. See, it is recording. It is reading. Next, remove main method and create array object. You tell me, Sanjida. You tell me that syntax. String object, array object.
Sir, at the rate driver.
Annotation next.
Oh, okay, sir. Public
object string array object. Public object square brackets. Next, any name you can use. Suppose read Excel. Return statement. It returns some value. Return statement. What is return? Return data. Otherwise, you can type that statement. Return data. Now, use that data provider. Use data provider.
Yes, sir. At the rate data provider.
At the rate data provider.
Of name equal to any name.
Name equal to, suppose, ABCD. Import data provider. Okay. Next, write test method for addition functionality. We have to add 3 numbers, total 5 records. See, at the rate test public void, what is that one? Suppose addition, open curly braces, close. Here 3 parameters required. 3 fields na, Sanjida, 3 fields na.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But sir, can we use at the rate with attribute data provider?
Yes, we have to use that one.
Okay. And sir, as it is, as our method return the value, void doesn't return any value. So should we use void here?
No, data provider returns value, but this test method not returning any value. Displaying value is different, returning value is different.
Okay, sir.
Data provider returning value, not this test method. That okay, data provide returning value, this test method captures that value.
Okay, sir.
Data provider equal to, this is attribute, equal to ABCD. Okay. Next, 3 parameters required. Reading time string type data only. String num1 comma, again string num2 comma, string num3. Okay, it captures 3 fields. Next, convert the data. I am taking local variables. Suppose int a equal to, observe this integer class, integer dot type p parse int. Here you can convert string type data into integer type, num1 semicolon. Gurnath, Observe the statement. 17th line. What is the functionality of this statement?
The string and num is converted into integer, sir.
Converting string type data into integer type data. Okay, na? And
Yes,
one
sir.
more thing.
So we are
You cannot convert alphabets. It will show error. You cannot convert alphabets. You can convert numbers
sir.
only. Suppose in this data, numbers available. So you can convert. Suppose here instead of 10 ABCD is there, you cannot convert. You can convert numbers only.
Okay, sir. Thank
First
you,
you
sir.
have to check the data. Next, same. Int b equal to integer. Observe. Integer dot parse int num2. This integer is built in. Observe Preeti, what is this integer? Integer is class available in lang package. Lang is built in.
Yes, sir.
Next, one more value is there. C. num3. Next, int result. Int result equal to
A plus B plus
A
C.
plus B plus C. Oh, small letter. Sensitive. If you want to display this one, you can display. Displaying is different, returning is different. Okay. Next, try to run the program. Run. See, total runs 5. 5 records now. Observe additions, Sanjida. 33, 63, 93, 123, 153. Addition.
Yes, sir.
Addition performed na.
Yes, sir.
This is about reading integer type data. Earlier reading string type data.
Yes, sir.
Say, observe one general concept. Data conversion. Say, difference between reading string type data and integer type data. Integer type data. If it is string type data, then you can use the data directly. If it is string type data, we can use the data directly. Next, if it is integer type data, first convert the data from string type, put mute, string type to integer type. From string type to integer type, then use the data. See, not only in Java, you take any computer programming, Java or VB script, same process, conversion required. Gurnath Natarajan, converting the data, then use. Okay, first, why we need to convert the data? Why we need to convert the data? This is my question. Why we need to convert the data?
Because the values are.
See, if we read data, any data, see, any type data, if we read data, then computer program, not only Java, computer program considers the data as string type data. Okay. Next, in order to perform mathematical calculations, then we need to convert the data. In order to perform mathematical operations, then we need to convert the data. And one small note, we can't convert alphabets, and special characters. Convert only numbers. Got this point, Sridevi? Last point.
Yes, sir.
Say. One small assignment I gave na. What is the assignment, Sunil? So you try to fulfill this assignment.
Second row.
Not only, okay, from second row. See, read test data from second row. Excel file. Okay, I'm going to close the session. Any queries, Sanjida?
No, sir. Good, sir. I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Preeti. Aarti.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
good, sir. Thank you for asking.
Welcome. Gurnath Natarajan. I'm going to close the session. Gurnath Natarajan.
Thank you, sir. No query, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. Say, for data-driven testing, we discussed three possibilities. One is dynamic data. Say, using loops, we generated the data observe Aarti regarding this data driven testing.
Yes, sir.
We discussed 3 possibilities. What are the 3 possibilities? See, second one, read test data from a text file, means notepad like. Read test data from a text file. Next, read test data from an Excel file. What is the first one?
Data provider using the annotation.
First one, can you remember, Preeti?
Yeah, the string type data we read.
Not string type data. Not only today's class. See, read test data from text file. This is previous class. Without using resource also, we conducted data driven testing now. But that is not recommendable for large amount of data, only for small amount of data.
Parallel testing?
Oh.
Group testing? No.
No.
Smita, without resource means test data file in this scenario. Without resource also, we conducted data driven testing now.
Using XML file?
No. Aarti, you don't answer. You are telling wrong answers. Can you remember, Smita?
No, sir.
Using loop statements, we generated data on loops and conditions. If some x greater than x equal to 1, then username equal to something, password equal to something. If x equal to 2, username equal to something, password equal to something. Like, you can't remember, can't you remember, Preeti? You check your notes, writing test cases.
Yes.
Without resource also, we conducted data driven testing. But I already told that is not suitable for large amount of data, only for small amount of data. Using loops and conditions, we conducted multiple iterations now. Can't you remember?
Yes, sir.
You check your notes. Say, other one more possibility is there. By dynamic submission of test data, by dynamic submission of test data. What is dynamic submission of test data? Remember, reading input. Scanner object is there now, Preeti? Scanner object.
Yes, sir.
Using scanner object, you can read input for every iteration and conduct data driven testing without resource. Without resource. This is also assignment to you. Without resource, I will send the script. By scanner object, using scanner object. Just a minute. Assignment 2. Data driven testing. By dynamic submission of test data. you can read data. See, read data for every iteration from keyboard. Actually, this is also not recommendable for large amount of data. Why? For every iteration, user interaction is required. For every iteration, user interaction required. For that, these two methods preferable. Read test data from text file. Here you can use a large amount of data also. 100 records, 200 records, no issue. Excel file also, you can use large amount of data. Text file, you can use large amount of data. By dynamic submission of test data, you can use this method for small amount of data, means 3 records or 5 records only. Just remember, Indian Railways test case example we discussed na Preeti. In Selenium WebDriver test cases, we discussed Indian Railways login na.
Yes, sir.
For that one field, we used dynamic data submission na.
Yes, sir.
What is that field? CAPTCHA field is there na.
Yes, sir.
For CAPTCHA field, we read the input from keyboard na. For remaining fields, username, password, we prepared test data or we used fixed values. But CAPTCHA not fixed value. By reading the CAPTCHA only we can enter the data. For that I used scanner object. That concept is dynamic submission of test data. See, you already familiar with this concept. See, can you remember that one, Smita? Writing test cases chapter for Indian Railways IRCTC website. 3 fields are there for that login operation: username, password and CAPTCHA. For CAPTCHA field, we provided dynamic test data na.
Yes, sir, that's right.
Here also, for admin login functionality, you can provide the data same way. Username, password, you can provide dynamic data using keyboard, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You try that one. And one more thing, it is not recommendable for large amount of data. Why? What is the reason?
We need to enter the data every time, sir.
Every
during
time.
the execution.
Who is telling? Yes, Sunil.
Sunil, sir.
Correct answer. User interaction is mandatory for every iteration na?
Yes, sir.
Say here, without using resource. Here in this scenario, resource means test data file. Test data file is the resource. Without using resource, you can conduct data-driven testing by submitting test data dynamically. But as Sunil told, it is not recommendable for large amount of data. Why? Reason is, for every test iteration, user means tester interaction is mandatory. Okay, this is also one possibility without using test data file. If we use test data file, then you can use large amount of data also. No user interaction required. It reads test data from either text file or Excel file as per your program. You can read test data from text file and perform multiple iterations continuously without user interaction. Or you can read test data from Excel file and conduct data-driven testing continuously, multiple iterations. Okay, na Sunil?
Got it, sir.
Okay. You try this script also. Dynamic submission of test data. We already similar example we discussed in writing test cases. Okay. I'm going to close the session. Gurnath, final conclusion. Any queries?
No, sir. I don't have anything, sir.
Okay. We will meet tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow, I think tomorrow will be the last session. I will provide the live project overview, and you try to prepare test cases for that. Okay, we'll meet tomorrow, same time. Thank you.